welcome you to Santa Fe Speedway in Hinsdale, Illinois for USAC Jolly Rancher Midget Racing. The weather here tonight, warm and humid. Temperature is 80 degrees, the humidity at 69%. We have cloudy skies. There's about a 75% chance of rain, and it is spitting rain right now, but we hope not enough to delay our program. Good evening, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins along with Gary Lee. Well, we return to Santa Fe Speedway here in Hinsdale for the third time this year. We've had USAC Stocks, USAC Sprint Cars last week. This week it's the USAC Midgets, and unlike the Speedrome series that we've been televising for you, this is a national USAC Midget race.
Yeah, these guys hop, skip, and jump all across the country on the pavement and the dirt. So we've got a four-way shootout for the national title. Only 65 points now separate the top four, and we've got a very raceable track out there.
There is a quarter-mile track here. There's also a half-mile track. They're racing on the half-mile tonight for the first time ever here at Santa Fe. Well, let's go to our pit reporter for the evening for his opening comments, Larry Newber.
Tim Richmond has driven midgets, super modified, sprint cars, championship dirt cars, Indianapolis cars, and of course, Winston Cup stock cars. Tim Richmond says that when you get behind the wheel of a midget, however, you feel like Superman. Why? Well, the cars are about 900 pounds, just 70-inch wheelbase, and more than 250 horsepower. You can almost think these little cars are on a racetrack. You twitch, they respond. They are terrifically exciting race cars on a short racetrack, and a half mile might be a particularly sharp and very demanding challenge for these midget racers.
And we are lining up now for the first heat race of the evening. We have had one 8-lap last chance event that we'll highlight for you in a little while, but let's go now to the lineup for this first heat race. On the pole will be Chris Maxson in car number 11, and outside Dale Hurd Jr. in car number 6. In row number 2, Steve KNEPPER in 55JR and Bill RIPP in number 9. The third row, Don Carter Jr. in number 16 and Mel KENYON in 61. And in the fourth row, a couple of fast qualifiers, Rich Vogler in car number 1, and the fastest qualifier of the evening, Stan Fox in car number 71. And he's driving a midget that is powered by a Pontiac engine that has been very fast. The green flag comes out and we are racing. The first heat of the evening is underway, and Dale Hurd Jr. drops into the lead as they go into the first and second corners.
One driver missing, we mentioned Rich Vogler, however, starting lineup, obviously some mechanical problems with car number 1.
That's Steve KNEPPER in car number 55, moving to the inside of the 11 car of Chris Maxson and taken over second position. Mel KENYON has quickly moved up to third spot, and running fourth is Don Carter in car number 16, the red car.
Well, Mel is racing hurt this evening. He took a very nasty flip last night at the Speedrome. In fact, lowered the front of the cage about 8 inches. Says the head is very, very tender. To work the soreness out, he drove the tow rig up here. Says he's a little sore, but he'll be in good shape with that Suzuki V8 powered car.
Now, these are 8-lap heat races, and the top 4 finishers will automatically go to our 30-lap feature event coming up later this evening.
Yeah, the start was inverted, Bob, so the fastest drivers were at the rear of the pack on the starting green.
And the lead continues to be held by Dale Hurd, but look at the number 71 car, the white car moving into your screen to the right of the picture. That is Stan Fox in the Pontiac-powered machine, car number 71, and he right now goes to the inside of Don Carter and takes over the 4th spot. A lot of heavy traffic in front of him as both Mel KENYON and the number 55 car of Steve KNEPPER are ahead of Stan Fox.
The 71 car is that new Flex Steel sponsored number 71. That is the fastest qualifier here this evening with that Pontiac power plant. It's a 4-cylinder engine that may well be the midget engine of the next decade.
Well, he's having quite a battle here with Don Carter in the red car number 16. Carter at the moment is holding on to that 4th spot, and Stan is back in 5th, so Stan is going to have to move up at least 1 position in order to not run the semi-feature. Now he moves to the inside, coming off corner number 2 down the backstretch and goes into 4th place. But look at the car wash out, going high in turns 3 and 4, and he loses the spot once again to Carter.
The track after qualifying 55 cars beginning to go away just a bit, but we're still saying 2, maybe 3 lanes out there. But obviously, as you indicated, the car does wash out to the outside.
In fact, a lot of drivers have been having trouble with the 3rd and 4th corners in the qualifying and in the last chance race. It's already been completed. The white flag comes out. There is 1 more lap to go. We're watching that 4th place battle as Stan Fox tries once again to take over 4th. He does it again. Well, almost goes. Going into turn number 3. He's on the low
He
side
has
this
him
time.
trapped behind another car, and he slides by. He may move up another position.
And Fox is going to finish 4th. The winner of the race was Chris Hurd. 2nd place went to KNEPPER. 3rd was Mel Kenyon. And Stan Fox came on to finish in 4th spot. And the number 16 car of Don Carter finishes 5th. He'll have to go to the semi-feature event. Well, let's go to the pit area quickly and find out why Rich Vogler didn't compete in that race.
Well, Bob, our points leader, the 5th fastest qualifier, your understanding of the ruling here. You wanted to go out, they would not let you.
That's right. The racetrack, whether they red flagged or yellow flagged it, but we stopped the racetrack because of the initial rain there. The racetrack wasn't ready to race when they went out. That Bob Timmy green flagged that racetrack, and it was an unsafe track. Luckily, the guys out there used their heads and didn't have any problems. And I'll tell you, this USAC is really getting bad. I hope Dick King is watching this presentation because he needs to do something with his health.
A displeased points leader tonight here at Santa Fe so far.
All right, thank you, Larry. And heat race number 2 is being pushed off. Here are the top 5 finishers in that first heat race. The winner, Dale Hurd Jr. Steve KNEPPER finishes 2nd, followed by Mel Kenyon, Stan Fox, and Don Carter Jr. We're in Hinsdale, Illinois at Santa Fe Speedway for USAC Jolly Rancher Midget Racing, being brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil. New Quaker State with QSX keeps your engine cleaner to last longer. And by Busch Beer, the beer with a taste as smooth as its name. And we'll be back with heat race number 2 of the evening as we present live. As you can rather clearly see, it's beginning to rain here in Hinsdale. Now, we had a little bit of a shower move over the track just before the first heat race, but it ended quickly. This one looks like it's raining a little bit harder than the previous one. However, the cars are still out there, and we're set to go for a start. The USAC officials are checking with the drivers to see if indeed the track is in raceable condition. Here's a lineup for the second heat. On the pole is Bill Kogis in car 52 and Bruce Field alongside in 88. Second row has Dan Boorse in car 7 and Russ Gamester in 46. Row number 3, Bobby Schneider in 00 and Mike Brooks in number 11. Back in row number 4, it's J.R. Miller in car 67X and Kevin Olson in 11EC. Those are the 8 cars making up heat race number 2. And the track is getting just a little slippery, but the official starter for the United States Auto Club Midget Division says one more lap and we'll go racing. Not only are we seeing some rain coming down here, we can see lightning all around us.
Well, we can see what the impact it's having on the track. You can see the track is very, very shiny. It's getting slick out there. You heard Rich Vogler in a very pointed remark earlier say the track was unsafe. There's a look at the red, white, and blue number 7, Dan Boorse. We talked about the big shootout between the top 4, and now 63 points separating those. Right now, Dan, who's a Badger Midget regular up here in northern Illinois, Wisconsin area, is presently 4th in the point standings, hailing from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And he'll be starting inside the second row. Not a particularly good qualification run for Dan, but obviously a good starting position on the basis of the inverted start.
Dan has won once this year in the National Midget Series. That was a feature at Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Here's Larry in the pits.
Well, Bob and Gary, regardless of the condition at the conclusion of the first heat race or during the running of the first heat race or at the start for that matter, in case you're wondering about our opinion about Rich Vogler's opinions, the situation right now is worse than it has been all night long. The track is definitely more slippery. You can see the cars going by. Kevin Olson trying to see just how slippery it is out there. And believe me, it is not race worthy. I think we are rapidly approaching a red flag situation here, perhaps putting the wreckers out on the course and trying to run this track in and get it back to a racing condition. But if this rain keeps up like this, we are on an indefinite hold.
Yeah, that is indeed the situation. The cars have been signaled into the infield, and here come the tow trucks and the push trucks out onto the racetrack to try to keep it as dry as possible. Larry, is it raining as hard now as it was, say, 5-10 minutes ago?
Yeah, it definitely is, Bob. The rain, interestingly enough, was just a little harder just before we went on the air. It stopped very suddenly. They put some heavy equipment on the racetrack, and the track seemed to work in real suddenly. But now the rain is just as hard as it was just when we went on the air.
Well, we have checked with the weather forecasters in the Chicago area, and they're telling us that this is a very narrow band of precipitation, so perhaps it will be gone very quickly. Let's hope so. In the meantime, a bit of a delay here as the rain continues to fall. So heat race number 2 will not be going here for a few more minutes at least, as the cars are on the infield, and the only activity on the track, the push trucks and the wreckers. We'll be back
with another